Hello, everybody. This is Selin and welcome back to the Earth Medicine Podcast. And today I have the privilege of interviewing Yvonne Perry, and she is really a leader for light workers. That's how I see her. And really, this is our first speaking together, but I've been on her website, and she'll talk about that and the services that she offers. But she's here today to speak about her work, helping light workers, and speaks about walk-ins and really guiding empaths. And more people are realizing that they are empaths. And so what a better time than now than to have you speak about this, Yvonne. So I welcome you. Thank you for being here, first of all.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor.
Thank you. And I'd really love to know about what it is that you do, and even backtrack afterwards and say, this is how I got here. How did that happen for you?
Well, it's a long story, and we only have a few minutes. But what I do is I do coaching, life coaching, just with empaths, people who have had some spiritually transforming situations in their lives that have changed them from one person to another, and they're integrating different parts of their selves and experiencing themselves as multidimensional beings of light, and working with a guidance team of the same. Some of what I'm doing is also working with empaths, and I know that's something that's near and dear to your heart, so I'm pleased to speak about that. Work also with people who are activating their light language, or the unknown angelic language, celestial languages, ET languages, what have you. And a lot of people are activating that, not really realizing what they're doing. Some of them are afraid of it, and so they come to me with those questions, and I'm helping them to understand a little bit more about that and how they can use that in their ascension process, and really bringing some frequencies, resonation, and alignment with love and light into their own minds, within their own, especially the empaths that kind of hear everything and feel everything. So it's about working with energy, and light language is a great tool for working with those energies.
Beautiful. And so there's going to be two types of people that are listening to this. Either they have never heard of light language, and then those who are like, okay, I know what this is and how I can apply this, or maybe they're receiving these codes. What would you say to the people who have never heard of what light language is? And then second, I'd love to hear really, what are people coming to you with? Like, how does one know that it is light language? I'd love for you to speak about that.
Well, light language is the pure frequency of the heart. It's a language of the higher self. We do this when we're children, when we're free of the programming and we're just playing, and our hearts are light, and we've not gone through all the programming that we go through as adults to become the normal human. This is our free, unencumbered state in which light language emerges. So when we start toning, or maybe using gesturing that seems to carry its own message rather than just what's being spoken. Sometimes it's dance, sometimes we doodle or make art, or the sigils come through, the light symbols come through. All of this is light language because it's expressing the light of our pure consciousness. In the Bible, those who are coming from a religious background may know it as speaking in tongues, or unknown tongues, angelic tongues, which are our native tongues from the divine or higher realms, that we're bringing in those frequencies into our lives here that are supporting us as we evolve our consciousness, realizing that we've never been separate, that we are source expression in a human form. And so it's helping us to become empowered as we move back to the understanding of who we truly are.
Beautiful. And so of course this is happening now more than ever because we're on this climbing ascension process.
Absolutely.
How would somebody listening know that this is not some random doodle that they're drawing or some way that their body wants to move, but it is indeed light language?
I think it's the energy behind it. If it brings a lot of joy to you, if you feel a lot of energy moving when you're doing it, maybe you speak it, and then something magical seems to happen. Maybe something that was stuck is now unstuck. Something that wasn't clear is now direction or information. You feel more instructed from within. Not necessarily anything that you learned out there, but it's like something just kind of dropped in after you tone.
Right.
I know a
Right.
lot of practitioners. Yeah, a lot of practitioners are using the toning of light language and are finding their clients are having a lot more powerful breakthroughs than they were before. They were just, trying to do just energy work. This is like the booster shot for any energy work. It works with anything from reconnective healing to yoga to what's the Reiki that everybody seems to want to do. This is like an expression of the tones and frequencies of the higher self that speak directly to the cells of the body, that speak to the DNA, that speak to a situation, or just really helping to align things. So it's a frequency. It's very, very useful for being able to bring about the change that returns us to our wholeness.
Beautiful. So it's that vibration from the higher self, like that harmonic resonance, whether and this is, do you think that there must be preparation work to receive the light language? Like you said, the toning, how does one become more receptive to receiving light language?
Well, I think receiving is the thing. You just open up and you receive. You have a desire for it. Sometimes it emerges during the sleep. In 1994, I was actually asking for it and seeking that gift.
Wow.
And it came forth in that way. But then I kind of let it go and just didn't see the importance of it, left organized religion. I was just doing my own thing, had my own writing and editing services business, just real 3D in my thinking. So when I had a head injury in 2013, I woke up in the middle of the night speaking it, and I'm like, okay, now this has been a while.
Wow.
And from there, it was life-changing for me because I started using it then in clients. I gave up the writing and editing services company that I was managing and was the CEO of, and came into using light language and seeing clients and doing coaching. The information that I needed was also dropping in through the light language. It's like I was getting downloads during the light language itself.
Wow. Okay. And so are you able to, is it something that you have to translate to like English, or is it something that you like draw out? Like, what does that look like when you receive this transmission?
It's not English, it's frequency and vibration. So if we can move out of the need to analyze it and understand it, you're going to get a lot more from it because you're moving from the heart space, not the mind.
Right.
And the mind sometimes is what created the problem. So dropping into the heart space and receiving the frequencies of love channels us right back to source, which can solve anything, which can, bring the resolution to any situation or any inner turmoil that we're having. Simply because it realigns us with the heart. So no, there's not a literal interpretation like this symbol means that or this word means that. In fact, for me, it feels like one syllable can contain the information and instruction of an entire book or library. It's not like, some of it feels very mathematical. It feels almost like Morse code or binary code when it's spoken. Sometimes it's very rapid and pulsating, like almost like drumming or tapping of some sort of code. Other times it's almost like automatic writing and the hand is kind of like, oh yeah, that's interesting, but you're not really controlling, like I'm trying to form this letter or trying to form this symbol. It's more like it's just flowing through. The energy is just flowing through into a manifest form by getting it on the paper or by channeling it through the hands or through the eyes or through dance or movement or toning or whatever. Lots of expressions.
Beautiful. And I've heard this, I haven't yet heard it in person, light language, somebody like verbalizing the transmission, and it's beautiful. There's this, you feel it in your heart. I think it's a very it's an emotional language, you know what I mean? And it's and I often myself, is it sort of like for those of us who, like, I have never experienced that coming through, at least that I know of, Is it something that you can just like relax into and absorb? Like, how does one work with, whether it's a practitioner or, you know, how does one work with light language?
Well, sometimes it's spontaneous. So, like I said, I woke up in the middle of the night speaking, and other people have done the same thing. I remember seeing Jamie Price on a YouTube video, and she started doing the signing and the gesturing. I had not done that before, and I immediately like jumped up out of my chair and started doing the signing and the gesturing that she was doing, and I'm like, what the heck is that?
Wow.
So yeah, it can come, just very spontaneously like that. But then there are others who feel like they're just on the verge of it. They have such a desire for it, and there's just something blocking it from coming forth. And so sometimes I do some work with the throat chakra, with the expression center, clearing their field, working with frequencies in the brain that have caused them to believe that they can't or whatever. So there's some energy work to move some things out of the way so that this pure stream of loving consciousness can come through in a sound format, in a language-like format. And the easiest way I do it is, believe it or not, is to just get people to babble. Just if it's vowels, if it's playful sounds, bird sounds, animal sounds, while we're in the energy, we create an energetic field that is bringing in that frequency. So all you've really got to do is like jump in the pool. and we do that by creating some sort of vibration in the throat. Because it is sound healing, it's sound therapy, it's frequency and vibration. So you need to participate with the vocal, with making some sort of a vibration.
And okay, and then so how has it helped you personally to activate this light language for yourself, and what do you see for your clients?
Well, personally, it's helped me to be able to hold a higher frequency. It helps to calm down the thoughts in the mind. If you're just having a series of thoughts that are bombarding, you're like, nope, don't want that. Nope, don't want that. Start toning, humming, whistling, making bird sounds, something to move away from that unwanted pattern and to realign yourself. So personally, I use it for that, keeping my vibration high, keeping my field clear. I use it in my client sessions because it also brings forth information. Sometimes there's things that I don't know about the person, and as soon as I bring the field of light around us and the frequency bands for their light language, other information drops in that helps me to be able to be a better coach. Yeah, and then there are some times when I'm in nature and I'm just communing with the trees and the plants and what have you, the weather, and I'm speaking light language just to connect with nature. Other times I feel like I have an assignment, and I'll sit myself down in a chair and I'll just speak light language or write the sigils or drum, just for the purpose of releasing the codes into the collective consciousness.
Wow. Well, thank you for doing that. And, I think that's a beautiful thing because we do have the collective like intensity at times, whether it's through moon cycles or, like when we're all processing, we're shedding. And so I love what you say about using that light language or really using our toning to move and shift from that frequency. Because a lot of times, that repetition of thought, that repetition of energy can just stay in that same place. And that's why I believe even humming, where, we started humming or, if that always shifts my mood, my vibrational frequency. So
music has a way of moving us, doesn't it?
It really does. It really does. And especially when it's a language that's felt, this is, and I think, and I even sense that it's coming through even more strongly now. There's a greater awareness because of really understanding the truth, and that truth is really felt within our heart space, obviously.
Right.
That's beautiful. Thank you for that part. And I know that you again also work with walk-ins. Can you explain a little bit more about what that is?
Well, there's several different types of walk-ins. First of all, there's the integration of the multidimensional soul, where maybe something fragmented as a child during trauma or in a past life, and a part of that soul just kind of encapsulated and moved apart from the whole, maybe for TLC, maybe for some recovery time. and it's ready now to come back. We don't want it bringing all of its trash with it.
Yeah.
So we clear it with light language and bring it back into the unity. And that feels like a walk-in because it's bringing more wholeness, bringing more awareness of our wholeness. Other times it feels like there's a situation that happens where all of a sudden, spontaneously, you feel like a different person. It's like, okay, I'm walking this path, and all of a sudden, something happens. Maybe it's a spiritual awakening. Maybe you just wake up one morning and you feel different. Maybe there was a suicide attempt or a surgery or an accident or near-death experience, and you feel like a different person. I believe what happens sometimes is that we are swapping our consciousness from one timeline or dimension to another. A different aspect of our soul is coming to walk with us, maybe for the rest of the lifetime. Maybe it's a temporary thing. Maybe different parts of your guidance team are flowing in and out as needed, depending on what your role is and what type of work you're doing, what your assignment is here. Other times it feels like you just swapped souls with something totally unrelated to you, like there's not even part of your soul family. It's more like a part, like a different entity walks in, and like, because you're done. Maybe you were companion souls in a past life, and one of you says, I'm going to go in and I'll do the childhood stuff, and when I get to a certain point, I'm going to swap places with you, and you come in and you take over what I've started. We'll just tag team it. And so that first, the natal, what we call the natal or the born in soul, may leave completely and go somewhere else, or it may just kind of swap places and serve as a guide for the incoming soul. So that can be, those are more like soul exchanges where there's actually an exchange of frequency or consciousness. The walk-in is more of an integrative thing, where more of your higher dimensional or multidimensional selves are coming into integration.
So do you believe that when you had the head injury and then all of a sudden you could speak, and really receive this light language, was that an instance of walk-in, do you think?
Yeah, it was.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And I think maybe that's why sometimes people spontaneously are able to have psychic abilities or,
Yes.
okay. So
it
I
takes
have
open gifts.
Okay, right. And so I see that a lot of people who, have been experiencing this, but maybe isolated about it, don't talk about it, because who do you really talk about this with? And
right.
in our culture at this moment, at least. So I really see you providing a lot of clarity for people.
Yeah.
What is something that troubles people? Like, what do you see that people, come to you with when they experience this, and is it that you help them integrate both of these or multiple parts of them, these souls with themselves?
Yeah, a lot of times this creates some discord within the family because the soul that walked out set things up that the next soul coming in really doesn't feel resonant with, and so there's some relationship problems. It comes in and like a white tornado sometimes, it just starts cleaning house, and so there's some confusion, and the person feels so different that they are disoriented to a certain degree until the integration has acclimated energetically. Sometimes the body, physical, has a difficult time integrating the new energies that come in, real fast. Yeah. And there's some anxiety or depression or feelings in the body that the body just can't handle the energy. So using the light language can help calm that back down. Yeah. And then using the coaching to help people really return to loving themselves unconditionally and not seeking approval or not seeking to have their needs met by someone else, but really going within their own strength and their own vibration to find the isness or the beingness of who they are, and let that spring forth and flourish and flow from them, rather than trying to fit the patterns that society or religion or family has set up, especially if you're a walk-in. None of that really resonates with you. If you're coming here from a different star system or what have you, and you drop into a body and it's like, oh my God, this is what it is to be human. The thing I hear so often is, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here.
you know what, sometimes I honestly think I'm like, okay, like, I think I'm going to take a break from Earth for a little bit. So, and I understand because, and it's people who do have all this light, this something to share. And then they're also saying, I don't want to be here. You know, I'm good. And so I'm so grateful for the work that you do, because it does help people say, okay, this is what's happening.
It helps people realize why they're here, and to really get okay with that mission to discover, you know, being here in the human body and transcending the programming is why you're here. So as you have these obstacles come up, you also have opportunity to use the resources you brought with you to transcend that pattern or that belief or that relationship into something more beautiful, more wholesome, more fulfilling, so that the mission can flow from you.
You know, and that's beautiful, because I see that the people that they're like in closest relationship with perhaps need, like, there wouldn't have been any other way that they would maybe awaken or be impacted in that way.
Yes.
You know?
Right.
So I think that's I actually hadn't even heard of this phrase actually until really studying you a little bit more, and now speaking with you. So so that's really cool. And then the third group of people, which I can definitely relate with, and I imagine almost every person that's listening to this podcast is an empath. Will you please share some of the wellness tips that you would provide, some of like really the empowerment that you have been able to uncover for yourself out there in the world? And I say that because I go somewhere and like lighting is, you know, I'm sensitive to the lighting, smells, sounds, other people's energy. How would you empower the person, especially in the holidays, you know, to walk strongly as an empath and really shine as these incredible beings that are out there?
I think shine is the key word there, because what empaths tend to do is to bring in everybody else's garbage, so to speak, all of their thoughts, their feelings, their bad, you know, their bad day. That if you're having a bad day, an empath will probably have a bad day too, just by association. Realizing that that's not who you are. Your thoughts are not who you are. Your emotions are not who you are. Your body's not who you are. Other people's energy is not who you are. The more you can get in touch with your own frequency and really vibrate from your own soul essence and your own true nature, the less all this out here is going to affect you. You know, it's not about putting up walls and boundaries, although that may work for a while until you kind of get a handle on it. It's almost like you kind of isolate yourself until you can get a handle on it. But it's energy. It's all energy. So if you're interfacing with energy, you have choice about what to do with it. If you're interfacing with an energy that you don't like, you have choice. Remove yourself from the energy. Transmute the energy. Try to deal with it from a higher perspective, rather than battling with the energy or the person creating or holding that energy. It's more about seeing yourself and loving yourself in any situation than it is about trying to change anything externally.
That's exactly right. You know, and I so agree, just seeing from personal experience. And I remember first starting on my path, and I would be like, oh no, like this person's not, you know, consciously eating about this or buying about this or whatever. And now it really is holding into my own frequency. And I still work on like, oh, that emotion isn't actually mine. And I'm not responsible for that person, you know, like fixing that person's upsetness, you know, and I mean, there is a responsibility that this path takes. Absolutely. And I want to ask you, what are some tools that you can provide that really help you ground in your own frequency and really identify between yours and someone else's?
The more you are in your own frequency, the more quickly you're going to pick up when something else outside of you is trying to interface or infiltrate your field. So instead of trying to push that out, push that away, or put up boundaries against it, I typically ask, what is this reflecting for me? What in me is still triggered by this? What in me needs to be resolved what are they showing and mirroring to me that I need to work on in myself? It
Yes.
takes off all the responsibility of trying to fix them or fix the situation, and you come inwardly, not as a judge to yourself, but as a love to yourself, to say, okay, maybe I do the same thing they're doing. Maybe this is my blind spot.
Mm-hmm.
How can I use this as a lesson and a tool to
Mm-hmm.
love myself more, so that I don't feel the need, first of all, to be triggered by them, or second of all, to act like them?
Yes.
So
Yes.
typically when you're feeling somebody else's energy and you're interfacing, it's because there's something still in you resonating or vibrating at that level.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
Or it wouldn't trigger you otherwise.
That's right. Or it's just, that's right. It's just like a leaf blowing, right? I love that you mentioned with love, doing this with love, because it is so easy. And I have been there myself, just like coming from a place of judgment or criticism for myself, like, oh, you haven't learned this yet. It's like, you're still triggered by that. And without that energy of love, it doesn't matter what we change. It doesn't matter, all the, the whatever patterning that we're doing, if we're not coming from that place of love for self and others. I love that, again, the emphasis on the responsibility, coming in, tuning in, and seeing what's not resolved within ourselves.
Yeah. What needs to be loved now?
Yeah.
What's asking for love in me?
Exactly.
And you
And I
can come
think,
with gratitude then toward that person for being their irate, most ugly self, to show you, wow, I have that option. I'm choosing not to act like that, or I could choose to battle right back and mirror right back to you all the ugliness you're showing me. But this is an
exactly.
opportunity to me to shine my light, rather than trying to dampen or put out yours.
Exactly. And what I love about it too is that it's both a very active, and also, in a sense, I want to say passive as well, but not passive as in like you're just kind of like letting things slide, but passive as in you it's like a very self-inquisitive practice to be in that space.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And anything else you would add to empaths who, maybe who have workplaces that are a little bit more intense for them, for example, or going out, getting Christmas presents, whatever it is. What other wisdom could you speak on?
Gratitude and joy. Those two high vibrations. Gratitude for everything. Gratitude for the situation, and totally being gratitude for yourself, for the light that you hold, for who you are. I mean, if you're just looking at your body and being thankful for your body, being thankful for your car to take you shopping, being thankful and joyful for this season, thankful to have the money to be able to buy these gifts, thankful for the people in your life that you're going to buy the gifts for, thankful for the joy that's going to light up their face when they open the gift. It's all about attitude, and gratitude is a very, very high vibration. So if you take to work with you every day that you are a beacon of light, and you're here to shine no matter what the circumstance reflects back to you, it becomes your personal journey to shine your light in every situation. You're not going there to be taken down. You're not going there to do battle. You're going there to shine your light. So whether it's in the workplace or in traffic or in the mall or at home in the bathtub, it really doesn't matter. It's about loving yourself, being in an attitude of gratitude, and finding joy in whatever is presenting itself.
Beautiful. And something you can do anywhere, anytime, and every moment. And I'm so grateful for you sharing that. It's like simple, beautiful, powerful tip that, thank you for that.
Yeah,
And
it works.
it works. I mean, it's funny because sometimes I'll share about my gratitude practice, because sometimes I'm like, oh, well, everyone's doing it. And then I when I speak to people, it's like, oh yeah, thank you for reminding me. Like, I do have something to be grateful for. And I'm like, my elbows work, the sun is shining, like I have clean water, like just like the littlest things. And I wake up saying, thank you, thank you, thank you. And you know what? I'm oftentimes, I get it. We're humans. Sometimes it doesn't feel like there's something to be thankful for. I get it. I've been there. And it really is about elevating yourself and toning to get out of that place, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So I know you have some exciting offers. You have a webinar coming up. Can you share with us about what you have in store?
Sure. Well, the webinar in December, I think it's the 13th next week, is a light language activations workshop. It's 2 hours online, $25. People in the class, they all pitch in. We share with one another our experience with light language. We bring in the frequency of light language, do some toning, do some vowels, drumming, and just really create a field that we can all receive from, as well as put our light into. We come away from there deepening our experience with light language. Even those who have never had any experience, just curiosity brought them there, spirit curiosity. Walk away realizing that the doodling they'd been doing all along was actually light language, or that the intuitive dance that they were doing was light language, or that, oh my God, I'm speaking the languages.
That's what that is.
That's what that is. I've been doing it all along. But just a real sense of freedom is what we're taking away from that, and just raising our vibration, coming into our resonance with the light within us, and getting some tools for being able to carry that out into the world.
Yes.
So that's next week. We are oneinspirit.com. Look under the events tab, and you'll see the information for that.
I'll link it as well.
Yeah.
And you offer coaching sessions as well.
Coaching, got clients all over the world. So Skype, Facebook Messenger, telephone, what's the other one? Zoom, what we're doing here, to be able to connect with people and to help them with whatever's presenting, whatever. Sometimes people contact me, they don't even know why. They just have this feeling that they need to. And it's because they're carrying codes and I'm carrying codes, and we have pieces of one another's puzzle.
Wow.
And so share those together, it all becomes clear and makes sense. Yeah. So we become energy partners in that session, and sometimes it's repeat sessions because there's more than one come through in one session. But yeah, it's beautiful. I love it. So yeah, it's not just always about problems. It's not always about coaching you through a difficult situation. It's because we're coming together because we are aligning codes in the earth. We're working with the grids. We're working with the ascension templates and what have you. And we're here to share.
I love that you say that, because I do see us moving away from just the healing, and going upwards and saying, okay, so you're working in bigger picture, we said the grid lines, and combining codes, collaboration, and I see that more and more, especially numerologically, year 2 just coming up. We're going to see more of that.
Yeah.
So is there anything else that you would really love to share with our listeners? Some parting pieces of guidance and wisdom that's coming through?
Would it be okay if I just do a little transmission before we close?
Please. I was going to ask, and I didn't know if I should put you on the spot like that.
It's not putting me on the spot. It's my joy. I would be glad to.
Thank you.
So let's just take a deep breath and just kind of center and anchor right here in our heart space, because that's where our love comes from, and that's where we've got a lot of energy for the light language already. So somebody that's watching this is about ready to bust open. So let's just work with that fifth field. Dirosula o kale o shalai on tarama ashtabariuku tarasokolia junamakoia ula satoku shinakale o kanokula kia turasamatukule shukarabatikusa o la atoka shianakala omba takaloshaka. And so whoever is watching this and feels like they want to tone with me, just bring that on through, bring through the vibration. Yolo shindoribia leoto rahaye, hotasinde orando shivre maeu, olareo. Nisura, hirosurai, hirohai, ola tokashinakaya, ola sitakila sindu shukura, hale osondoromuku ishlava kiroko kayanaka. Brighten our light from within, shine it out in all directions, in all time, in all space, ever increasing the light as we remember who we are as divine beings of light and love, expressing the oneness, the isness of the I am and beyond presence, and just radiating that field of love out, expanding and brightening our field, expanding and brightening all the cells of the body. And with a deep breath, just receiving everything that is here, that is for you. Receive it, receive it. Take it in, all the cells of the body, into the DNA, into all timelines and dimensions, into all soul aspects and counterparts. And then anchoring those codes into the earth plane and anchoring them into the cosmos as the body becomes the vessel for this divine expression. And they're just holding that frequency. And as you're holding that frequency, realizing this is who you are. This is the vibration you carry. This is what you carry into the world. This is how you feel when you are in your true space. And then we ask for the ability to be able to operate from this field, from this space, from this true self-knowing, from this expression in everything and everybody that we interface with, in every situation, that we shine our light more brightly. And we become more loving toward ourselves and others, more accepting. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Very welcome.
Within minutes, I feel this shift, and even the color in your room looks different. And, beautiful, and how beautiful. Thank you for that gift. And I it's so funny because I, of course, body wise, like I shivers and my heart space is totally activated. And what a gift for our listeners. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me today.
You are so welcome. I will post the show notes inside of the description. And, for those of you who are curious and want to learn more, you will also, I'll post Yvonne's link below. So
thank you.
Thank you so much. It was an absolute gift to have you on the show, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.